Hello and welcome to this brief tutorial on the Hutchinson Elementary School Bookroom's database program. After you log into the program, this is the home page of the program that you would see. The first we're going to start is this is your home screen that you would see. On this is the quick search. This is probably the one that's going to be used most often for just doing really quick searches on some things. For instance, if I just needed a full list of everything that the is a biography in the collection, I would just type biography. And this would provide every biography that is contained within the guided reading collection. As you can see, let me scroll down a little bit. It is quite a large number of biographies that we do have in the collection. Just want to show you the fields that go across in the results. This would be the title of the book. This says author/publisher. This, if you ever see it, it may just say author perhaps in some portions of the site, simply because there's not enough space to put author/publisher. The majority of the books in the guided reading collection are categorized with the publisher, such as Benchmark, Eye Openers, Rigby, of course, Reading Books, Pioneer Valley. Author we use for is most often used for the upper level novels. For instance, we instead of using like just Houghton Mifflin or Random House for those types of books, we would actually use the author's name, such as Dan Gutman, and so forth. Next is genre. This is for obviously the genre that the books are defined by. Jane Goodall. This is a nonfiction book. Color. Those not familiar with this, the color are defined by the yellow sticker dots on the front of every guided reading resource. So there is a chart that you are welcome to receive from anyone in Language Arts, so they can provide that for you. For instance, all of the ones with yellow stickers would have a guided reading level of 24 or 28. Okay. Next is number of copies. I'm sorry, is a box number. So this is where those books are located within the guided reading collection. This book would be found in nonfiction in the yellow box and box number 18. We own 5 copies of this book. Now, this is not necessarily what may be in the box. This is just what is owned by the guided reading in the guided reading collection. The guided reading level, this is the DRA number for that book. Word count, this is only used up from levels 1 through 14. So anything higher, any level higher than that would not have a word count associated with it. If there is a specific SOL that has been documented, we do input that in here. We do not have that here for biographies that show up right here. Next would be keywords. And this is any of the keywords that have been added to help define these books, so that if someone's doing a more narrowed search, it would help them be able to find something a little more specific. The series is for different things. For instance, the Cam Jansen mystery series, they would all be defined as Cam Jansen, Magic Tree House. As you can see, Reader's Theater right here is another thing that we have defined with the series. It's just another way for our teachers to be able to just do a search for just everything you have in Reader's Theater and be able to get those resources at their fingertips. Notes is something that the general staff would not see, only someone with the admin password who can define stuff. And this would sometimes have things such as 12 new books added with the date. Over here we have edit and then delete. Very important. Again, this is not for the general staff login. This is only for the admin login. This would help you make any changes to any of the records. So for instance, for this one, I'm just going to hit edit so you can see what the screen looks like. And this just helps to be able to change anything. For instance, if one of these books was damaged or destroyed and I needed to lower the copy count, I could just, delete that out and change the copy count. Or for instance, if we purchased more of that title, just another way that I could, or you could, add to the copy count to make it an accurate inventory. Keywords can be changed. They are defined by commas in between each keyword. So if this was had several different keywords associated with it, when entering them, you would enter the keyword, comma, space, the next keyword, comma, space, etc. Okay. We're just going to exit out of here because we don't want to actually make changes to that record. The next field across is search. This is for making more defined searches. Say I wanted biographies again, but I was really only interested in biographies that we have in certain guided reading levels. So I'm going to say all of the biographies we have between levels, say 14 and 20. I'm going to type in my keyword of biography. And if you ever question what are the keywords, you can just come up here to this tab and it would provide you a list. Okay, so I'm going to look up all of the guided reading materials that have a minimum DRA of 14 to a maximum DRA of 20 that are listed as biographies in the guided reading collection. And this is what would come up. So as you can see, we have, quite a few biographies that fall under the thing and under that guideline. As you can see, here are some that actually have SOL codes associated with them. Not a whole lot of them have that, but as you grow with this database, you're welcome, to always add, new ones that we find and be able to go back and add to books that are already in there. Okay, this one says Virginia Studies, 6, so that's where those come from. Okay, other searches that you can do, say I just want to know everything that we have in, say, I'm going to look under genre, just in our nonfiction genre, in our color green, which is anything for DRA 6 through 10, I want to know which ones we have in which we have, say, less than 3 copies, because I'm trying to do weeding, say, and this helps me quickly figure out which titles have, in that section, have less than 3 copies. So we have 4 titles that have less than 3 copies in nonfiction between DRAs 6 and 10. This helps for the head of language arts department to figure out, are these titles that we wish to keep because we only have a few copies left, or are these titles that are great for the curriculum, teachers have loved them, and we may want to order more. So this is a great way for weeding or being able to determine the wish list of what needs to be ordered next as well, which is another great way to use the search feature. There are other ways that you can filter this down. If I wanted to the output options, I can say all I want to know are the titles and box numbers. Didn't really want to know anything else. You can, unclick the other items that you may not have wanted. You can sort. Say I want everything sorted by title. That's an option for you. And you can also even further define your search by clicking on output format. You can also, instead of having it printed to your screen, you can export it to Excel. And this allows you to be able to manipulate the data even further in an Excel spreadsheet. Okay. Okay, next tab across is keywords. You click on that and this will provide you the current list of all of the keywords that are being used right now in this database program. These can be modified at any time. New ones may be added, other ones may be removed from the records. It's really curriculum based and what the teachers say their needs are and what they're looking for, and that helps determine what keywords are being used. The next tab across says add a new book. Very important. We're always getting new titles in the guided reading collection, and it's important to be able to add them into the database as well so staff and teachers can find them. Just enter the title of the book. Author, again, as I mentioned earlier, this would be publisher. If they were like say Rigby PM books, we would type in Rigby PM here instead of the name of the author of those books. You would put the box number where it is, what color it is, word count if it's a level 1 through 14, how many copies, the level, minimum and maximum level of the book, any keywords, the genre, if there's an SOL, if it's part of a series. For instance, if it's a Magic Treehouse book, you would type Magic Treehouse. You would submit that form. Okay. Next, backup database. Very important. This should be done minimally weekly. Sometimes it can be helpful to just set it up in your Outlook calendar to remember to back up the database, say every Friday at a certain time. That way you know it's done. You would click backup database. The system generates a file. Since the database has been exported, click here to download it. You would click here, and then you would download it to your desktop or to a documents file um, on your computer, so you have that. God forbid should anything happen to the data in this program. The next tab across is label generator. You can ignore this. This is something that was done initially when we created this program and is really not used anymore. All of the books are now labeled that we do have, so we do not need that any longer. And then of course log out. Okay. And that is just the brief overview of the Hutchinson Elementary School Bookroom program. If you do have any questions, please feel free to speak to someone in your language arts department. I'm sure they'll be happy to help you. Thank you so much.